from Pontes books, here with the chapter 25 vocabulary focus for The Prince and the Pauper. Today's word is one that's still commonly used, which some of the words that we've covered have been and some haven't been, but it has kind of some nuance tied to it that helps to make sense of the way in which a character is saying something. So our word is muttering. Muttering has to do with something that's being said, but it's a specific way in which something is being said. So basically, mutter or muttering, to mutter, is a verb, and it means to utter sounds or words. So not always words, I guess it could be sounds too, with a low voice through partially closed lips. So you're kind of speaking through your lips like this. And it's often portraying a negative message. Like it's often something you're like, I don't want to do that, this is stupid. Although we'd never say that because that's just not very nice. So that's kind of muttering. It doesn't always have to be something negative. You know, someone can wander around muttering to themselves, or they're just kind of like talking to themselves under their breath. But a lot of times, if something's muttered, it could be more negative. So some kind of synonyms: whispering, mumbling, complaining. So we have a lot of these words that are like to mumble, to mutter, to I forget. There was one more that like I feel like also started with an M and was like kind of similar-ish. And so they all have like slightly different connotations associated with them. So I would say mumbling is kind of the more positive / neutral equivalent of muttering. When you're mumbling to yourself, I feel like that can be just like talking to yourself. Muttering, I feel like, is more used with that angry tone. Some non-examples: yelling, speaking clearly, or screaming. Those are all obviously examples of not muttering. So looking at the etymology of the word, so the language of origin, this one was a little tricky. It kind of like went back to a couple different things, but essentially Middle English and also German, muttering, to mutter. So there were a lot of different forms of it that basically meant the same thing, to mutter. So that word has kind of maintained its meaning throughout the different languages that it has moved through. So some example sentences are straightforward sentence. The girl began muttering as she walked away from her brother, who ate the last cookie. I can't believe he ate the last cookie. I wanted to eat that cookie, right? Kind of like that. Sentence from the chapter. He continued, so this is, I think this is Miles, who this is talking about. So this is after he gets some big news about his family, I guess you could say. And he kind of forgets that Edward is even there, and he walks back. Well, he continued walking back and forth, muttering to himself. He had forgotten the king entirely. So this is kind of one of those examples of, you know, someone talking to themselves under their breath. But I do believe, based on what's happening in the story, that there is probably an angry edge to it. So some other forms, obviously, because it's a verb, you can say like mutters, mutter, muttering. But you could also make it an adjective, like a muttered reply, like he gave a muttered reply. And then also mutteringly would be the adverb form. As far as I know, there's no relation here to the word mutt, like dog mutt, but who knows? Maybe there's some connection somewhere, but you mostly have to have that suffix on there. The so that is the word mutter or muttering. Hopefully you learned something. Have a good rest of your day.